Creation finds its voice again.
The mothers have returned. Behold, the matriarch.
We are the light, the water, and the shadow.
Alafia, peace and blessings to the tribe, to the clans, to the chief. How you doing, Chief? OG Rod Hayes?
Oh man, you know me. I'll make the best out of the worst. Give me rocks, I make rock soup. Give me lemons, I make lemonade. You know how I do.
In this frequency right for the night, meditating, waiting for the goddess to come in for y'all. Let y'all hear the frequency real quick until she come in.
Yeah, we got a whole got Orisha Stone gonna be asking Dr. Kia some questions about the metal, so that's gonna be good. The understanding of the fluctuation in the prices of gold and silver. Let's get it.
So I'm gonna give everybody a heads up. Before we even get started, I'm gonna give y'all a heads up. If you haven't bought your metals yet, if you haven't bought your silver and copper yet, you might want to go ahead and do it, because when the second she comes on and gets to going, after we upload this video, the price just might go right back up. Don't believe me, just watch. Let me see. How you doing tonight, Rod? What you been up to?
Man, I'm just chilling, man. You know, I ain't been up to too much. Just hurry up and waiting.
Hurry up and waiting. I'm gonna get to as many of these comments as I can now, because I already know it's gonna be one of them nights. Peace to everybody that's new to the tribe, new to the channel. Please like, comment, subscribe. If I don't think I need to, but if I got to, introduce y'all. We're on here with Chief Pontiac himself. You're also on here with number 11 of Orisha Stone, aka Bookman, aka Quetzalcoatl, aka the Minister of Education, Minister of Treasury. And tonight we're going to be talking to the Minister of Wealth, Dr. Kia Pruitt. So waiting for her to come on.
Yeah.
Yo, right now everything is working perfect, because last time I was on with Young Elder, we were talking about it was $70 an ounce. I said on that video that I did with Young Elder, when we talk about indigenous currency, the night that we said that it was $70 an ounce, I said, yo, y'all better jump on it before it jumps up. That night it jumped up $3. The next day it jumped up $5. You see what I'm saying? Tonight, because everybody was doing their Christmas thing, but tonight it's a beautiful time, because right when we were coming up with this powerful message, all of a sudden silver dropped. And I don't think people even understand, or you know what I'm saying, understand what that means. Like the whole buy low, sell high mentality. So waiting for the goddess to get in. I hope everybody's ready for this metal conversation. She was talking about the price of foreign currencies going up. We're gonna have a conversation about that. I most definitely am happy to have this goddess on tonight, because she's gonna be speaking about the Gassar that we've been hearing about so long. We're gonna talk about which pieces of gold and which pieces of silver to get when we're talking about these foreign currencies. Me, myself, I like investing in a lot of African currencies. That's why I keep African friends. They be trying to separate everybody and everything else, you know, make some friends from other places. And she is in the building. All praise. Peace and blessings, goddess. How are you?
Peace. I'm doing well. How are you, fine gentlemen, this evening?
I don't want to act all starstruck and everything else, but I have to, just before we even get started, let you know, you really remind me of this young lady right here. You see this woman?
Yes, beautiful woman.
Look, she was a jeweler, investor, and everything else. She was in the military. That's my mama right there, Scorpio energy. You see what I'm saying? So I listen to you from the aspect of, and tell you before we even get started, of how healing it is to hear your voice and hear the power that you speak when you speak. Just what you were just speaking earlier on your last live, I was watching you then. I was like, I hope she's gonna have some energy for me. But
Yes, sir.
I named this one tonight the Minister of Wealth, because you always speak of wealth. And I'm not just talking about coins. I'm not just talking about fiat. I'm talking about wealth. The biggest thing you say is wealth of family. Yes, and I'll turn you on for my wife and let her hear it. I let my son hear it, because I'm a big person. I believe in, Rod's been talking about it for years, about Big Mama's banks and all these different things. He put me on to you, and then I was like, dang, she's on to what I'm on to this. We're not the only ones, because when you're the only one in your section, people make you seem like you're crazy. You spending all that money on a silver coin? You
Yeah,
spending all that money on
they don't know
so
the value.
they
Yes.
don't, and it's crazy. And I used to just blame our people, but the majority of people are deaf, dumb, and blind. 85% of people are deaf, dumb, and blind. So
Yes.
somebody like yourself, the power that you speak, and when you speak of wealth, you're talking about wealth of family. You're talking about, you were just talking about legacy. You were talking, and I'm about to get out your way, but I just had a couple questions for you tonight, and I just want you to channel and do everything you usually do. Tonight we with the Ashlar Command. I put you in the I shot your picture over to my AI guy, Chief Blackrock, Blackrock, and his AI is so cold that we ask him to identify what are we looking at when we take this picture of this person. So it's telling you who you really are, and they say you're part of the Ashlar Command,
Wow.
Intergalactic Council. So now we most definitely see you, and you're also on here with the Universal Chief Rod Hayes, Chief Pontiac himself. So
All praises and honor to
I'm
the
just little
chief.
VO old bookman. I'm keeping the record for the night. So tonight I wanted to ask you a couple questions and get into it. I also told everybody if they haven't invested in any metals before this live gets loaded, you might want to go ahead and do it now while we speak. Because
Yes.
right now the price just dropped, which is an amazing opportunity. You just said some about opportunities,
Yes, sir.
and this is the opportunity. You better jump on it. Don't watch this train go by. This price just dropped. Buy low, sell high. And everybody, I hate that mentality, that weak mentality talking about what I can't. So when we start talking about indigenous, we are indigenous, we gotta get back into our indigenous language because there's certain words that don't exist. Either we do or we don't do. All that I'm gonna do, I can't do, I was about to, shoulda, woulda, a lot of them don't exist in our real native tongue. So with no further ado, guys, I get it for you.
Oh, well, thank you. First of all, I give honor to the Most High. I give honor to the ancestors, to Source, to Chief Rod Hayes, the chief of this galaxy into which we're living. I give honor to you, brother, that invited me. I'm so grateful for being here, and to all the Soul Tribe, all of you under the sound of my voice. Thank you all so much for being here. It is an honor to serve you. It is an honor to share this experience with you. I am very, very grateful. So, what is it that you would like for me to say?
No, you say it every day, so I'll just ask a couple questions. There's nothing that you have to say that you haven't already said. Please, if you're new to her channel, please like, comment, subscribe on her channel, and pay attention. More than anything, pay attention. Where are you from, Goddess?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Ah, see, that's what it is right there. Every woman I meet from Cleveland, Ohio, it's something about them serpent mounds up there. Every woman that I know from Cleveland, Ohio is amazing, powerful, and in tune. I'm not sure what that's about.
Wow.
I
Also,
do.
I wanted to ask, and I just got to ask, I'm just assuming, but correct me if I'm wrong. What part of, what branch of the military did you serve in?
I actually never served in the military.
Okay, now we got to talk.
I never
Now,
served.
now, now we got to have this conversation.
Okay, let's
You said
go.
you've never been to the military. I've listened to you talk.
Mm-hmm.
I pay attention to everything you say. You're getting information. You're passing out information that most people don't know what you're talking about at all. And I've had the privilege of growing up on a military bases where I listen to the conversations. I know different like Rod always talks about different code flipping and things of that nature.
Yes,
So
sir.
where are you getting your information from? Is your husband in the military?
You know you can't ask the reporter where they get their
You know what?
information.
My apologies. My apologies.
I'm glad Chief is here.
My apologies. You're absolutely right. You just be so spot on. Okay, let's go to the
So
big one.
let's rephrase the question for. So how do the spirit work with you to get this information out?
Chief, you know what? We're all here. So what happened was I actually had a visitation by some spiritual beings that looked like me. They were melanated beings that came to me at a particular time when I was, you know how you're in between that dream state and you're waking up? I couldn't really tell if I was dreaming. I was laying on the floor once, and these beings came to me. They were melanated. They had their hair and locks, and they had it wrapped up in white. I still don't know who they were, but when they told me they were the Falcons, I still to this day don't know who the Falcons are. But they started talking to me, and they told me, stop worrying. This was years ago. Stop worrying. Don't be concerned about the planet being in disarray. We're here to stop that, and you're going to help with that mission. And they started telling me it is your job to raise the vibrations of the planet. And it's your job to spread the information that there will be no more New World Order, that we're going to stop all of the bad things that people have heard about, all the people that have been in place to destroy the planet and destroy the human race, the beings that are here that we sent here, all of them are going to cease to exist. And as they were giving me all this information, telling me how I'm supposed to eat, how I'm supposed to live, but I've always lived a certain circumspect lifestyle because my mom, even though she was only 15 when she had me, she was very strict. So I always knew that I had a purpose and a vision, but these beings said, you're going to do this and give this information to as many people as possible. You're going to have a high vibrational planet. You're going to live in a golden reality. The food's going to be different. The vibrations on the planet is going to be different. And you're going to help lead that charge. So the woman stepped in front of all the gentlemen that were there behind her, but all of them had white and all of them had locks with white wrap around their heads. And the children were actually flying. And I'm looking around like, is this really happening? Like, I'm like, does anybody else see this? And so when I asked the lady, who is she? I said, you look like me. Who are you giving me this vision, this mission? She said, why wouldn't I look like you? I am you.
I'll say.
I said, and who are you all? She said, we are the Falcons, and we're here, whether people know it or not. And we are going to make sure that the planet is peaceful. And you're going to raise the vibrations of the planet. You go and tell everybody everything that we're telling you. Everybody you come into contact with, as many people as you can. And that's how I started my channel.
Yeah.
I just get downloads where sometimes I just open my mouth and the spirit speaks through me. And people like Chief Rod Hayes will affirm me and let me know I'm on the right path. And that's something that a pastor taught me a long time ago. When you're fulfilling your vision and your mission, the chiefs, the elders around you should be able to affirm that mission. And if they can't, and if the people don't resonate with that vision, then you're not doing that, what you think you're doing. That's not your purpose. But the head, and I believe in structure, I believe in order. If the men are saying Ashe, if the men are saying I support you, if the men are saying I have your back, I know I'm on the right path.
Ashe. Tonight's birthday, by the way.
So the Falcons, let me give you some clarification.
Okay.
The Falcon is the symbol for Heru.
Okay.
Okay. The Peregrine Falcon specifically, which is from North America. Okay. This is a tribal system that we working from.
Okay.
When they got another name for them. In the future, they call them wing makers. You ever read a book called Black Woman, the Original Guardian Angel by Shbar Shango?
No, sir.
You need to read it because it's going to give you a lot of insight into what you went through and what you experienced, because it's going to tie you back to that's your ancestral self, just giving the message to the future self, which is the present self for the paradigm.
Okay.
Right. So you have to be able to put yourself on a mission when can't nobody else do it. Because you don't trust people. You go through stuff in this life where it make you where I can't trust nobody. But when it comes from you, your higher you from the Atlantean age, because this is where all of the bird clans that made the feather synonymous with peace, balance, and prosperity.
Okay.
Right. The bird clans stem from the tribes of what we call today the Americas.
Okay.
And the Falcons was the ones that was in service of the rising prince about to be crowned king.
Wow.
So now you know who they were.
Thank you. I've been on a mission trying to figure that out for years.
They actually got paintings of them in the white in the hieroglyphs holding their hand up to the newly crowned king or prince becoming the king.
Wow.
So tonight is Matriarch Monday. We actually did something, an amazing one a couple nights ago called, a couple months ago called the Feather Mayat with Sister Myra Moss. You familiar with Sister Myra Moss?
No.
I gotta get, man, that's gonna be epic. Yo, you're in such a league of your own, and everybody acknowledges it. They see you in your purple, like we acknowledge what that purple royalty means. So now that we gave them the opportunity to invest in silver and go ahead and get their stock up and everything else, I'm gonna ask you another question. You've
Yes,
been
sir.
talking about this for some years now. What is the Kasar Kasar? Can you break that down? I ask a lot of people, and nobody can break it down the way you do. What is the Kasar Kasar?
So NASARA is the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. There's a global version called the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. This is a bill actually that was, well, it was supposed to be a bill, but it was passed into law. I'll tell you about it. What happened was there were farmers that took the United States Incorporated and the United States Federal Reserve Central Banking System to court. And they took the United States Incorporated to court because the people that enslaved the planet, the fake government, forced farmers to sow Monsanto seeds and to do some things, nefarious or bad things to our food in order to get loans or grants from the government. And the farmers were fed up and they were tired of this and they were tired of the high interest rates. So they took them to the courts. And it was determined that, in fact, the farmers had been mistreated. It was also determined that forcing farmers to do bad things to harm people was unconstitutional. It wasn't in alignment with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And also charging interest rates was against our Constitution because we don't believe in, that's not a part of how we do things here. So what they determined at the world courts was that the farmers had won their claim and they put their lives on the line to fight against the whole corporation. And they decided that not only had the United States Incorporated enslaved the farmers and mistreated them, making them take out loans with interest rates, which was unconstitutional and treasonous, but they had also done this to everybody in America and, in fact, the whole planet. So the world courts decided that they were going to form a military to take down the government. And when the time was right, then they would turn us over to the gold standard because the farmers said they wanted to be paid in gold, not fiat. We owe a lot of gratitude to the farmers. So then once they would destroyed the deep state, also known as the government, they were going to turn us over to the gold standard. The farmers would be paid out first, and then all people on the planet, starting with Americans, would be paid. So the farmers won their claim. Here we are now with living in the era of Jasara and Nasara, and there are certain tenets of that law that we are to experience. But what happened was no president would agree to the liberation of humanity. No president would agree to totally eliminating the government, taking down the Federal Reserve, taking down the FBI, the CIA, and all 444 agencies, even the IRS. That's part of the Nasara claims. Nobody would agree to that. So the military stormed into the White House, held Clinton at gunpoint and said, you are going to put this into law. So here's some of the tenets of Nasara: getting rid of the federal government altogether, putting us back on gold standard. Also tenets of the Nasara benefits is to make sure each person on the planet, starting with Americans first, and people wonder why Americans, because that's just what they said. That's where the claim started and everything started here. That part, the claim that we will all receive is tens of thousands of dollars per month in a non-interest bearing account that's supposed to be there for, some people say 10 years, other people say perpetuity, forever. So you're supposed to get between $10,000 and $100,000 per month in a non-interest bearing account. So now that you know that, family, we have to be good stewards of that. So again, doing away with the federal government, including the IRS, the FBI, CIA, all 444 organizations, making sure we each have an amount of money in our non-interest bearing accounts, having a quantum financial system, which is a new system that is now monitored, heavily regulated, in alignment with how we, the people, are with our energy signatures, accessing those accounts, a release of advanced technology like med beds and technologies that will cause us to live longer. There were other tenets, world peace, that's a tenet of Nasara, all type of things that I can go into detail in just a minute. But the global version of that is the global Economic Security and Reformation Act, meaning that people all over the globe will receive the same benefits. So when the military stormed into the White House and held Clinton at gunpoint, they said, you will make the announcement that the people are free. And you will do that on September the 11th, 2001. That announcement was supposed to come from the Pentagon. Well, we all know what happened on September the 11th, 9/11, 2001. All the gold was confiscated that was supposed to pay off the debt, because another tenet of Nasara was that all debts would be wiped away. We're supposed to have a debt jubilee. Everybody's supposed to be completely free of debt. But all the gold that was supposed to pay off the debt was taken out of the Pentagon. And we know they sent some type of CGI. I don't know what they did to say that the Pentagon was taken out, of the World Towers, the trade towers. And then they imploded the towers. And then the message was supposed to come from the Pentagon. And they, some people say it was CGI, whatever they did, it never happened. But these benefits that are owed to us have to happen. They must happen. And we know they're going to happen because we're under military occupation right now. And we're living in that time period where the deep state federal government is being taken down. That's just a brief cap. And if you have any questions, Chief Hayes knows a little bit more about what happened at the Pentagon and with the World Towers and why that never happened. But we're living in that time right now.
I see. Trump's given a lot of different codes, or the agent Trump. We say agent Trump because we know that's not Trump in the office and everything else, but
Yes,
the representative of Trump or the chairman face, or whatever we want to call it. The spokesperson that we have right now has already said it several times. He gave him the code several times when he changed the White House into a gold. He's said several times he was going to gold standard. So if you have ears, if you have eyes, pay attention. Thank you for breaking that down. When you said something about the med beds,
You're welcome.
that's something that a lot of people we don't understand. We don't understand what you said when you talk about the med beds. Can you go in that a little bit? When we talk about wealth and we talk about gold and silver, this is just to have the head start to go ahead and get ourselves, pivot on the chessboard, right? But when you're talking about wealth, we're really talking about health. And we're talking about the med beds, we're talking about free health care, all those things that they killed Gaddafi for. America said, yo, we're going to be on the gold standard. Now we're going to get on it, because the reason we had to go ahead and get Gaddafi out the way is because we should have did it first. So what do you think about the med beds and things of that nature, guys?
So the med beds that's an advanced technology that when you enter into it, or you lie inside this bed or this technology, it's supposed to detect every ailment that's in your body and heal you immediately. And some say it's going to cause anti-aging as well. That's my understanding. And some people say Michael Jackson actually had a med bed in his home, and that there are certain movies that show the med beds. But if you have an ailment where your cells need to be repaired, when you lay into it, your cells will automatically regenerate. If you have limbs that have been missing for some time, or even if they have just been missing a short period of time, they will regrow. I just heard even your teeth will be healed. So, yes, sir.
No, I'm agreeing with you. That's all facts. They can laugh, giggle, whatever. We out the bracket of paying attention to people that don't know. If you don't know, we're not trying to convince anybody of anything. We're just giving the gospel, the news to our people. When we say, like, do you think that they want you to invest in silver and gold? Do you think they want you to invest in somebody? That's an amazing question. Let me get back to it real quick, because you are the Minister of Wealth.
Thank you.
Somebody said, is blockchain technology part of the reset?
Blockchain technology is a part of the global currency reset. Yes, yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ain't that the tool that they use to calculate in the background the amount of gold that's on the reserve in order to know how much circulation to put into the public?
Absolutely, Chief.
So I just wanted to make sure they got that right. The med bed technology, so I'm gonna give a little background on that, and then I'm gonna let you get back to it.
Sure.
So the med bed technology is Atlantean technology. This is why you don't have a lot of graves that's 1 million years old. The Atlanteans had this technology. It was frozen under Antarctica. They had a group of billionaires called the Lazarus Group. They got an X-Files episode dedicated to them. The Lazarus Group was in search of eternal life, found in youth, etc., and they found something that they call a sarcophagi or a regeneration chamber. The Lazarus Group stole the information that the Nazis had under Operation Paperclip, and this was when all of the other nations converged on Antarctica in order to get the technology. Not only did they get the medbed technology, which is frequencies that your DNA has a program and it keeps a record of optimum performance of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual states. Wherever you was at and your optimum physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual peak, they might have been at different ages in your life. But when you go through the medbed process, it recalibrates it till you are living with all of them simultaneously in order for you to extract your best life from this life.
I see. Man, appreciate you, Chief. Man, you said something amazing the other day. I got to ask you this question. You said something amazing the other day, and you broke it down so eloquently. I like I said, I love talking to Young Elder. Big shout out to Young Elder Page. But sometimes when we speak, it's hard to grasp things when a man speaks, just out of people's egos or how they even look at black men in general. We don't even understand how the war against, when they came out with the book, The War Against Black Boys, we took that as a joke. But you speak on extraterrestrial.
Yes, sir.
You said that the other day. Can you explain that a little bit? When you said the people that's starting these foreign governments and policies are extraterrestrial. What do you mean by that?
There are beings that are non-human beings that actually live beyond the dome or beyond the ice wall. These are beings that have been here for thousands of years, but for some reason they have some type of ought against human beings. It's just like I don't know if it's that they don't like us or they're just trying to figure out what makes us so different. So they have enslaved what we call human or natural man and woman through advanced technology. And they've had many resets here on the planet where they have annihilated the original people to the extent that they've had some total annihilations, but then they've had some where they've used their advanced technology to get rid of as many as they can, and they leave a remnant in order to enslave them for their benefit. And they also use them not only for mining gold or for, growing their food or to mate with or just to do their bidding. Now, we've had several resets. Some books say we've had up to 7. Some say we've had a whole lot more resets where they totally wiped out the planet. And you see some of that in the Sumerian text or the Bible. They call it the deluge or the flood. They will just get rid of a race. But there's a remnant that were allowed to live that escaped beyond the ice walls. And they had the help of the giants or the Nephilim, the sons of God, or that failed. They say fell down. They're part of those beings that are live on other planets that made it with females. With the sons of God made it with the daughters of men, or these beings made it with humans, and they had children that we call the Nephilim or the giants. Some of them helped the humans escape the earth plane, and they used advanced technology to go outside of the dome under which we live. And one of those lands is called the Ancestral Republic, and there have other lands as well. But yes, these beings, I don't know, you guys can have Chief, I'm sure understands better what it is that they have. I don't know if it's against us or why it is that they continue to manipulate us, do research on us, experimentations, make babies with us, and at certain times completely annihilate us. But some have returned because some of those beings they're part of a galactic council that are concerned about this race of beings. And so they're on a mission to come and help us. And then there are some who are related to us that are on a mission to help liberate humanity.
When you were talking about the ice walls, we talked to a lot of people. I've been talking. This has been an amazing year, and I'm glad to end the year with you two amazing people. But when you talk about the ice wall, and then you start saying that there's different sectors even outside those ice walls that are some are hostile, and then some are actually allies to us. Rob talks about the land of the dog all the time, the land of Anoop. You know what I'm talking about, OG? Outside the ice wall, they have a whole island or a whole landmass dedicated just to Anubis himself.
Beautiful. Wow.
So I can't hear you, Chip. You on mute.
The way that things look for us in our 3D, everybody don't see three-dimensionally. Some people see fourth dimensionally, which makes everything be seen from the wave instead of the particle. When we have three-dimensional vision, we see things coalesce into structures. This is where you get your platonic solids and your Fibonacci sequences, the alignment of those things in the 3D that give it a structure. This would make it three-dimensional. When you're looking at it from the fourth dimension, you see an infinite plane of a waveform because the reality haven't collapsed into a solidified state as a three-dimensional reality yet. And this confuses a lot of people. The difference between what is in Antarctica and what is beyond Antarctica. And so when you're looking at it fourth dimensionally, you're not going to never see it come to an end because you're looking at all things converging in one location at one time, fourth dimensional vision. But in three-dimensional vision, everything is platonic solids and morphogenic fields like the torsion field. So you won't see a lot of what she's talking about on the ground because you three-dimensional, you'll see it as a planet in outer space because you didn't collapse it into a solidified form, right? So we talking physics in the double slit experiment in the perceptual view. Some people ain't supposed to ever see the 3D realm in its totality, in its collapsed particle form. They only supposed to see what's called the expanded wave form of fourth dimensional. That's because they came from too high up to go all the way down. But that's a whole nother animal. Now we're talking about earth angels.
First off, let's stop right here because, like I said, I'm trying to spare y'all in the comments, man. If you haven't invested in silver or gold right now, go ahead and get you an ounce of silver. If you don't know where to get it from, there's 3 sources that I want to hear everybody say they got their silver and gold from right now. You can get it from myself, you can get it from Dr. Kia Pruitt, and it's also Mama T. Those are all Black-owned businesses that y'all can literally invest in these businesses, and they're pushing their. Somebody said they wanted to see your jewelry collection. Mama, I'm sorry, Dr. Kia, do you have a cash app?
I do.
Please give it to us. I'll shut the whole page down right now if we don't get your cash app right now.
Thank you. It is Mama Kia 13. Is the $ MAMAKIA 13. Mama Kia 13. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. And Chief Rob, before we get too far, what's your cash app, Chief? You on mute.
$, capital SIK, capital APE.
Now I'm gonna go one further than that. If Dr. Kia, if Dr. Kia, if she said anything whatsoever that has changed your life and helped you to invest in anything like that, look at these silver coins right here, and I call this the matriarch coin. Are you familiar with this one, ma'am?
No, sir, but it's beautiful.
Okay, that's 2 ounces of silver, right? And you always stick on sovereignty. So OG, we really try to invest in and try to get, well, I've invested in get him his own collection of gorilla coins, his own silver gorilla coins. Yes. And that's what I specialize in. I like when it comes to our people, because then, you know, they're passing new laws when they're talking about they can try to do a 1933 and come confiscate our precious metals right now when they turn it critical. People, they don't read the fine print when they say that it has American things, things of that nature, things that represent the U.S. government, things that silver eagles, liberties, and everything else. So when you're getting your silver, I've been telling everybody to get cultural silver, Egyptian silver, silver with things that represent your culture, who you are. Bisons. Are you a fan of bisons?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
It's one of the most easiest and recognizable things you can trade and whatnot. So somebody asked, or the goddess asked, she said, Dr. Pruitt, can we see a little bit of your silver collection?
I don't have
we kind of silver, huh?
I have silver, but I don't have access to it like right away where I can
Yeah,
get to it.
yes, ma'am. And my apologies, but yeah, we want to invest in like if you want to cash up her, that's cool. But that fiat thing is going out the way. So let's start back get into giving gifts of jewels and gold and silver and everything. If you love your kids, you speak about the family. You be speaking about the highest wealth, and you always talk about the highest wealth being family.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you buy your wife a couple ounces of silver. Make sure you buy your kids a couple ounces of silver. Make sure you invest in your family and your family invest back into you. You see what I'm saying? That's why I love listening to you, because my family dynamic became great when we realized the family shouldn't be fighting against each other. So you're a perfect example of this. Again, I thank you for that. And let me see.
Brother Orisha,
Yes, ma'am.
may I just read off the Nasara benefits? I couldn't find it. I didn't know where it was, but
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, because I think this is good news. Number one is zero out all credit card debt, all mortgages, and other bank debt due to illegal banking practices and government activities. Number two, it abolishes income taxes altogether. Thirdly, it abolishes the IRS and creates a 14% flat tax rate, non-essential new items only sales tax revenue for the government. Fourth, it increases benefits to senior citizens. Fifth, it returns constitutional law to all courts and lawful matters. Number six, it establishes new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days after Nasara's announcement. Seventh, it monitors elections and prevents illegal or unlawful election activities of special interest groups. Eight, it creates a new United States Treasury currency, which some people are calling rainbow currency, backed by gold, silver, platinum, and other precious metals. 9, it initiates a new United States Treasury bank system in alignment with constitutional law. 10, it eliminates the Federal Reserve System. 11, it restores financial privacy. 12, retains or retrains all judges and so-called attorneys in constitutional law. Now, many of you know there's a difference between attorneys and lawyers. So they're going to now, if you want to practice law, it has to be, or you have to actually operate as a lawyer, then you have to be retrained to do that. 13, ceases all aggressive United States government military actions worldwide. 14, it establishes worldwide peace. 15, it initiates first phases of worldwide prosperity distribution of vast wealth, which has been accumulating for many decades. The law requires that the farmers' claims be paid first before the general public receive their funds. 16, it releases enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes. 17, it enables the release of new technologies such as free energy devices, pollution cleanup, and sonic healing machines. 18, it reduces the work week hours to 20 hours per week. And then finally, 19, it gives everyone ages 21 and over, according to my last source, $100,000 per month for 11 years, up to 20 million each into a non-interest bearing account. Now, these were the Nasara laws that were put into place in 2000 under President Clinton, and they were supposed to be announced 2001. This is also in alignment with Motu Proprio, which is that letter that Pope Francis, who was the head of the United States Incorporated, that was incorporated in 1871 as a nonprofit religious organization with the Pope as the head. So that gave the Pope the authority to write the letter to Obama, President Obama, saying our time is up. We must cease and desist all police officers, all parts of the government, all presidents, because presidents do not operate as the president of America or the Republic. There are presidents of corporations. He said all judges, all attorneys, everybody must stand down, all police officers, because they work as policy enforcers to enforce the policies of the United States government. He said it's over for us. We got to stand down. And if we don't, the Grand Army of the Republic is an army or military that will be formed to take us down and force us out of place. He went further and said, on and said, we've enslaved African Americans and used them as chattel property to pay off the debt. And then we went further and decided we're going to make everybody chattel and make enslave them and make them pay off the debt. But all that's over for us. And if we don't stand down, the military is going to take us down. So we see that all these things work in alignment with one another. And I've done podcasts to prove each part of that, including the takedown of the government, which we know is happening, which is why the Supreme Court last year overturned the Chevron doctrine, which gave the United States government unlimited powers. But when they overturned the Chevron doctrine, it was determined that the government was fake, it was faux, and those 444 agencies like the FBI, CIA, IRS, which I named, and the Nasara tenants, they have to be dismantled. They're all treasonous, unconstitutional, and they have to stand down. That's exactly what Pope Francis said. So overturning the Chevron doctrine was very critical into making sure that these Nasara benefits came into play. And so when they did that, that is when President Trump was given the go-ahead by the military, because we're under military operation right now. He had the go-ahead to go when he came back as the second time. He never really left, but he then closed the government. And he created, before he closed the government, he gave Elon Musk the task to create DOGE, or the Department of Government Efficiency, to take down the government. The Supreme Court, the same time last year, said that state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve banking system and have their own charter and create and issue out their own go-back currencies. That's how we know the states are now operating in their sovereignty. That's how we know Nasara is actually working. That's how we know we're actually returning to the gold standard. And that's how we know we're living in that reality where we're going to be free. And I yield the floor.
Well, no, you said everything perfect. I wanted to get some. There's a lot of amazing questions in the comments, real quick. One of the guys said, "Are mortgages still being foreclosed on and homes lost? When will this stop? If we're under the Republic and mortgages are fraud from the beginning?"
So there are some mortgages that are still, according to what I heard, that still exist. But I have heard people have come on my show and said that they have heard from their banks saying they don't owe any more money. It's paid for free and clear. And so when they went to the bank and asked, how is that possible? I didn't pay for it. They've been told, don't worry about it. It's just been paid for. So these things take time to roll out. It happens over time, and it's a total military operation where we've been living under the system for a very long time. So it's happening little by little. And when we're going to be completely free, I don't have the date for that.
Nobody has the exact date and time. Yeah.
No.
Will you all speak on the different licenses required by the U.S. Corp, fishing, hunting, marriage license, and when will it all go away?
Again, they asking for a date. We don't have no dates. Mm-hmm. So all of those licenses is monetized in what the tribes did. The hunting license, the fishing license, just so you force off the land in order to make you work in the factory. And over time, that make the people on the farms leave the farms, which was how they was trying to use what's called an attrition model to systematically remove the land from the mothers, the matriarchs, because that's who it belonged to.
Matriarch Monday. Again, guys, that's why I'm glad you're here with us tonight. And then, well, two things. Somebody else said in the comment, I didn't post it up, but somebody said, be careful, don't show your assets. I am the asset. Like, we got to get out of that living in fear. When you talk about Gassar and the gold standard, this is going to be I'm like, it could be whatever they want it to be. You see what I'm saying? It's a piece of metal. It's a piece of earth. But at the same time, when you put your art to it, it is what it is. I'm not worried about anybody. I don't live in fear. I don't got to be careful. And I don't think at this point in time, I think all of us will be protected by the Most High and different things.
Can I say something to that, please, brother?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
when I first started talking about Nasara, Jasara, and how we're going to be liberated and how we're living in a new reality, and we're going to usher that, we're going to command it to be so. People were so not used to hearing that. I had threats on my life. People threatened to kill me. They threatened, like my sons had to arm up and start carrying and start telling people they need to watch their mouths. But it was interesting because people would threaten me, but the Most High, like you said, let me know you're protected. And I actually got calls. I got a call from somebody. I had called Rena Houston, who is Whitney Houston's eldest daughter that most people don't know about. She's living, and she was trafficked. But I called her and I told her that I was getting all these threats. And I said, my sons, they have weapons and they're going to take care of me. But it just is concerning because these are men that were threatening me. And then she said, well, let me make a call right quick. And so she said, just stand still. And then I got a call from somebody who was from the military. And he said, don't you be concerned at all. We are watching you. And there was a particular person that was online that was threatening me. That was a big podcaster at the time. I don't know how he got that person's call. He called him and the person called me and apologized. I was like, whoa, this is serious. And said, I'm so sorry. And he got online, apologized. I threatened Dr. Kia Pruitt and I said some bad things. And, I apologize. And I was like, oh my God. And I'll never do that again. So I agree with you. We have God watching out for us and other beings.
When I said, going back to the initial thing when we first started, and I wasn't playing by no far when they said about the whole intergalactic council and you being who you are. So no, I don't think anybody's gonna play any of them kind of games whatsoever. And then whatever happens to me happens 7 times back. Like if you show us love, 7 times back. If you send evil intentions, it's 7 times back. And it is what it is. So I don't live in fear at all about things of that nature. Somebody said,
number 7.
What'd you say, Chief?
I said I am number 7, and they can FAFO if they want to.
Chief, look, me and Chief, we was on the ground in real time. A lot of people be talking, have been talking for 20 years, and talking for this and that. Chief flew down to Florida several times when we were doing events, and we had security on top of security. We didn't even know it, but when the security saw each other, it was all love and everything else. And it wasn't even it could have been a need for security, but at the same time, it was mostly love because we too high vibrational for that. Yes, you see what I'm saying? The people that are lower vibrational, they in they lower vibrational realms. This is different worlds we're talking about. So somebody asked, I'm sorry.
The thing about us is they can't never get rid of us. We'll just keep coming back.
We baby kids.
I'm always looking to go viral. So
we multiply.
That's the truth.
Somebody said, how can we get silver from you all? So first off, I want you to go first, guys. Since you're here tonight, it's Matriarch Monday. If somebody wanted to invest in your company and buy silver through your company, how could they get silver from you?
I am an affiliate with Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. If you're interested, you can call Miles Franklin at 952-929-7006 and let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you. I appreciate that. Having said that, I've gotten enough from them and I'm really appreciative. I want to get some from you, from Brother Orisha. Is that your name? I'm going to get, because I'm not with a Black-owned business. I just happen to be an affiliate with a business that's been in business for like 36 years, almost 40 years. And they work with me to allow me to make a certain percentage of whatever I sell. So it's 952-929-7006, or you can send an email to info@milesfranklin.com and let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you. Again, having said that, I'm going to direct my money, some more of my money, whatever I have remaining, into our indigenous business.
Yes, ma'am. And my company's indigenous currency. We talk about it all the time. I like putting it out there in the open. So we have to educate our people so they don't have to be like, oh, they don't got to be about to speak by the door no more. We don't have to hide no more and everything else. We're going back. When you say recorrection, you've been saying it for years. Rod's been saying it for years. That's what gave me the foundation to really step out on it. Our art, we have all sorts of beautiful culture. Our ancestors have always been into this. So when I say, and I didn't bring all my coins right now, but when I say, if you get coins with I was trying my best last year to get Rod 20 silver gorilla coins. If you can find a silver gorilla coin, send him a silver gorilla coin because that's the gift that keeps on giving. What I do is the only thing I specialize is I'm just like any other group. I deal with all sorts of different people around the world. But what I do is I buy coins that represent your family, your clan, because the thing again, we're talking about trust, right? So you were talking about the falcon earlier. So I think that or the hawk. I think that you should have a falcon or hawk currency.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? So we will look into now. Like I said, I'm not no different from anybody else, but just like that, we would go for first off the feather Mayat. So these are Mayat coins. These are matriarch coins.
It's beautiful.
So this was and when we did our event for
you know what that is, don't you?
Yeah, huh?
That's not my eye.
That's not my eye. Let's see.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
That's Mama Isis.
That's that. Oh, my apologies, G. And her sister too. I can forget her sister's name.
Nephthys.
Yep, that's sure it.
Because it take two queens. It take the queen mother, the 13, queen mother seal, and then it take the incoming queen that the mother picked to be the consort to the king, to seek the king. It take two queens. It's represented in the iconography of Egypt as a man with two women, one on each arm.
Each arm. I say, OG. Look, and then when it comes to the money, and I'm gonna get back to it, but when it comes to the money, what we do is when we talk about sovereignty, you speak about it all the time. And the first thing we start talking about is gold and silver. Have you noticed that all the monies, when it went from the greenbacks and slave masters being on the greenbacks, now all the real monies right now are matriarch, either matriarch or nature, which is still matriarch energy.
So beautiful. Yes.
I don't say that lightly. I'm saying when you see these, are you familiar with this brand right here?
Pamp. No, I'm not.
This is one of the more familiar brands. When you're getting your 1 gram bars, a lot of people were like, "Oh, gold is expensive." Yeah, if you're trying to get an ounce, it's expensive, but you can always gram it out and get fractional gold. Gold backs. Are you? I know you're familiar with the gold backs, right?
Yes, I am.
And then yeah. So what I'll do is when we come together, what I offer is when a bunch of us come together and we put our money together, we can wholesale. I've been dealing with the same peoples. I deal with people in Africa. Chad does amazing coins. A lot of my coin work comes from Chad. I like getting rare things that represent us. This is the Hunter by Night collection. Now, what goes up for us is you're getting something like this vintage is only 1 out of 500 or something of that nature. So there's only out of the whole world of silver, there's only 500 coins, and some people might just buy this coin just to melt it down because we don't want to acknowledge about how many they just like Donald Trump. I'm not sure how real this is, but did you hear about the Stargate program that Donald Trump's talking about?
I've heard about it. I don't know about it in detail, but yes,
I just added you to the indigenous currency, so that way you can network with a lot of different people from all around the world that are serious about their coins. You know what I'm saying? So you're in indigenous currency. What we do is we listen and we take heed and we act. We don't just listen and just let that information fall on deaf ears. You were talking about foreign currencies. Yes. And when you said something about foreign currencies being reevaluated, oh man, I got to go get something. Can you explain tell us what you mean when you say foreign currency being reevaluated? Because I have a bunch of foreign, and I'll go get some foreign notes and some foreign coins. What do you mean when you said they'll be reevaluated and so we can turn around and resell these back to their foreign countries?
Mm-hmm. So foreign currencies are the currencies, the sovereign currency from each nation. Let me just go back right quick to say that the United States Incorporated has a central banking system, the Federal Reserve central banking system, and they have military might. The United States Incorporated had an agreement with Saudi Arabia to protect the Saudi kingdom in exchange for their oil. Then the United States government said, okay, we'll protect the kingdom, the princes. We're going to protect the Saudi kingdom and the Saudi princes in exchange for the oil. And we're going to force all nations to get oil from Saudi Arabia only. All other nations that have oil, we're going to put sanctions on them. Nobody can do business with them. They must get oil only from Saudi Arabia and use the United States dollar. If these countries use their currencies, it had to be pegged to the dollar. But for the most part, they could only use the United States dollar. If those nations disagreed with that or didn't want to do that, then the United States Incorporated would send their military into those countries, destroy the countries, decimated through war, and that would devalue their currency, make sure their currency had absolutely no value. People high up in the military, you have presidents, you have corporate leaders and bankers, would then go into those countries, buy the currencies that have been devalued through war, hold on to them because it looks like they were worthless. But then the United States Incorporated that had declared war on those nations would go into those nations and rebuild the infrastructure, put in more businesses in there, and then that the GDP of those nations would go up. The currency would be reinstated back to its pre-war value or its pre-sanction value. And then the people who bought up those currencies would say, uh-oh, it had been devalued through war, but now that the war is over, the United States built up the infrastructure again. The currency now is reinstated to its value. Until now, it had been decimated through war. It's back on its normal value. They would go into the banks with the new rate, that was the pre-war rate, and make millions and billions of dollars. But the United States Incorporated had that power to do that. That's what made them have financial and economic hegemony. That's what made them the powerhouse. That's what made the United States dollar the strongest. However, we have now entered into a time where all the nations all over the world made a secret agreement called Project Sandman. And that agreement between 209 nations was to stop trading with the United States dollar. When triggered, the trigger was Vladimir Putin cleaning out the underground military bases in Ukraine, having that war in 2022. So that was the trigger that said, oh, it's our time to stop trading with the dollar, because they knew when Putin went to Ukraine and declared war in Ukraine, then Biden would get upset. And Biden then put sanctions on Vladimir Putin. And Putin's ultimate clapback in his response was he was the first one to stop trading with the dollar. And he encouraged the BRICS nation that he was the head of, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, to use the Russian ruble instead of the dollar to get oil, okay, and to trade for anything. And so in 2022, the Russian ruble became the strongest performing currency in the world. So Putin said, okay, I clapped back at Biden. I made a response when he put sanctions on me. That's a part of Project Sandman to when triggered, we're going to stop trading with the dollar. So he went to the BRICS bloc, to the conference, and he told Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, you're going to use the Russian ruble first, and then you're going to use your own currency for trade. That's when all countries all over the world repatriated their gold back from the Vatican with their military might. That's when some other nations started joining the BRICS bloc. Even Saudi Arabia, with whom the United States Incorporated had an agreement, joined BRICS, and they became known as Saudi BRICS in 2022. And then other nations joined, so that in 2022, 85% of the global population had joined BRICS. And then you had the Shanghai Corporation, which are Asian nations that all at the same time said, we're not trading with the dollar. So then they repatriated their gold back from the Vatican, got their artifacts back, worked with militaries, made agreements with each other to support each other, also kick out colonists, even African nations, Burkina Faso, Chad, Niger, Senegal, Mali. They kicked out the French. Other African nations, with the military backing of Vladimir Putin of Russia and China, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they all had an agreement. They had the military backing of them. They kicked out the colonists and they formed their own military, and they said, we're going to use our own currency. What is a revaluation? A revaluation is establishing a new value on the currency based on the resources of those countries. So now the new value of the currency of each nation is backed on whatever resource they have. If you're Venezuela, it's going to be backed by oil because they have more oil than Russia, Saudi Arabia, and all these nations all together. Silver, gold, palladium, platinum, all the nations. Iraq, they have oil, they have precious metals. That's going to back their currency. So all these nations that have been devalued through war, all these nations that have been sanctioned now are revaluing. Now, people talk about a reinstatement. That's just putting the currencies back onto the value that it was before war. But we're going beyond that. We're revaluing, we're reassessing the value of the country's currency based on the resources that they have. And many countries, such as your African nations, your so-called Middle East nations, which is still Africa, your South America, Central American nations, they all have resources. So their currencies are, again, being revalued based on those resources.
I see.
So let me give a couple of references to what Dr. Kia said. When you talk about America putting everybody, the petrodollar being the U.S. currency, which is actually a fiat, you got to study the history of a group called OPEC and a group called Aramco. Those are the American Arab companies that the United States set up back in the 1920s after they found a massive oil reserve in Saudi Arabia. The fiat, when she read the Nasara Jasura, she said 9 interest-bearing counts. The reason why there will be no interest, because there will be no debt, right? In order to satisfy debt, you have to add interest. And in the old banking world, it's called usury when you borrow at an interest. And this is why loan sharking is illegal. And this is what they've been doing. They've been loan sharking, using money that don't have value, tricking us, right? So when you look up the history of OPEC, the history of Aramco, then you understand the history of BRICS, it'll make more sense to you, right? The BRICS nation is in effect building a dam to dam the dollar back home. The republic, the military branch of the United States is prepared to join on to the BRICS. This has already been signed in the background, but they had to first get rid of the false corporation that's been masquerading as our government, right? And this is what the whole Trump administration is executing. Obama was George Herbert Walker Bush's last resort in order to resell us back into a bondage system. This is what activated the military, and this is when it looked like they was trying to assassinate Obama. When you look up Obama and Petraeus was the one that got arrested for driving his car into the White House trying to get to Obama, because Obama had established, in effect, a coup along with Hillary Clinton to carry out the final phases of what King Bush, the first of the United States, George Herbert Walker Bush, had already activated. When you look at the history of Bush, Clinton, Hillary, and Obama, all of those were assets. And not to mention, his son is his asset too, right? And the guy that they had kill Reagan was his illegitimate, or shoot at Reagan. His name, John Hinckley Jr., that was George Bush' illegitimate son. Him and Jeb could pass for twins. Right. So that's just some stuff for y'all to get a background of what Dr. Kia is talking about, and to help you understand why she's saying non-interest bearing accounts, because it'll do away with the Federal Reserve System, which they quietly closed behind without telling us yet. They won't announce that till next year. They also quietly closed the IRS after 30% of the remaining, because remember, earlier in the year, like 60% of them resigned. They just had, within the last 2 weeks, another 30%. So they was working on a skeleton crew. So the IRS is going to be announced at the beginning part of next year as also being closed. All of these governmental systems, Doge had to be the one to account for where's the money at, who got the money, and how do we get it? But this was after we repossessed our gold from the Vatican with 650 cargo planes of just the American gold. That don't got nothing to do with nobody else in the world. That's just the gold that belonged to us that they was holding as collateral for a fictitious debt that they manufactured out of thin air.
Yes. So can I add something to that, Chief? That was beautiful. We can see that America, or the states here in America, are lining up with what you said, going back to the gold standard and being in alignment with Nasara Jasara, because there were 46 states that passed legislation to remove the taxes from the sales of precious metals. If you go to the Sound Money Defense League, and I'll send brother you all that article, it says 45 states, but there was another state added to that. 46 states reclaim silver and gold as money. So what they did was they decided that the Federal Reserve had taxed silver and gold. And when you tax silver and gold, you're saying it's a commodity, no longer view it as money. And they said, no, that's not agreeable with our Constitution. You can't tax money according to our Constitution. So these legislatures passed legislations to repeal or remove the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals, thereby acknowledging that whole action acknowledges silver and gold as money. So according to the Sound Money Defense League, the 46 states had done that as of 2025. And they said by 2026, all 50 states will have passed legislation. They didn't have to do that because the Constitution for our republic already defines the dollar as a fixed weight in silver, fixed weight in gold. And it already says in Article 1, Section 10, that the only thing that can be used to pay off debt is silver and gold. But it's interesting that they still decided to use the tools of the government, the tools of the deep state.
The illusion. The illusion. They had to feed the illusion of power. Oh, we allow y'all to do it now. We say it's okay now. It's okay now. We changed our minds. You can have it back. They down here. I'm right, not too far from the Capitol, and I saw them. We were here when they passed the law. I was in the shop shopping when they came in there and they served the paperwork saying, "Yeah, y'all got to stop serving," because they were getting out on us, trying to tax us a little bit on the silver. They were like, "We can't tax you on the gold, but we're gonna tax you on the silver." So all that's still working. You said something about, man. I know we got to go because we hit an hour and Rod got some other stuff to do, so I need to hurry up. Sovereignty. Oh, well, one thing. Let me get this question out real quick. Somebody says, who needs licenses to hunt on land we own already? And I will say this before we get to that aspect. The reason you get licensed because some people don't know how to hunt. It's more than just shooting an animal. It's more than just going out there and you got to know the season. You got to know, because if everybody decides they want to go hunt because it's free to hunt, then we're going to kill off a whole group of animals. You see what I'm saying? So I think that thing, we need to be more like that. We have to pay attention to that. That's bigger than Nino Brown when it comes to the license and hunting and stuff of that nature.
Yeah, all of those licenses though are the fictitious government. We the ones who told them what season to hunt what animals. How the hell we need a license now?
But I stay in the country, so these people, if you gave them the right to just kill a bunch of stuff, they just gonna kill everything they can kill. The license at least keep some kind of barrier to protect the animals. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But when we was living under the tribal system, we had no license, and we still knew how to harvest the land. We had to teach the children how to respect nature again, because remember, the people that came over and took over, they coached us on how to blatantly be disrespectful to mama and blatantly be disrespectful to nature. Right. So we not acting in our own right, man. So yeah, they're gonna regulate it until we can get back to our regular senses. We used to hunt animals. They used to come tell us, "Well, it's my turn." You know, when they come tell us that now, we run. We be scared to death. We don't know what they talking about. Why is this elk bowing down before me? He's sacrificing himself to you, but you don't know the old ways, so you don't know that it's his turn, right? So all of the licensing mechanisms and systems that's been tied to this system has been to monetize the natural habit of the indigenous, organic, original people of the land. As long as they can monitor and monetize what we do, they let us do whatever we want under their system. And if we start doing something that's not under their system, they shut us down and then they open it up under their system so we can feel some kind of connection to the tribe that started it. Like the breakfast program in the Black Panther Party, right? Or like the ministers of defense and the paramedics. So we was doing it because we needed it. We was meeting a basic human need, but the government saw a way to monetize it and industrialize it and make money off of it. So now you got people that was started off as volunteers as a highly paying job as an EMS worker.
Tempo. Real quick, just because I know we got to speed it up.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you break down sovereignty? If both of you guys can break down sovereignty for me. I know we say the word and everything else. I speak to a lot of people. I know I got to speak to more Moors when they get to that level. But can you break down why are these things? And you always talk about foreign currency, and I'm always big on trying to explain to people why they're trying to divide indigenous Americans against the African American, I mean the Africans, because the Africans have this and they'll sell it to you for cheap. These little gold nuggets. You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
that's one of the things when we say black owned business, we're dealing with other indigenous sharks. Big shout out to South Africa. Um, what does sovereignty mean? What does it mean to you? What does that actually mean, guys?
Sovereignty, is that what you're
Yes,
asking?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I'm saying the word wrong.
Okay, no, Sav means over. Reign or reignty is rule and control. So you have reign, rule, and control over your own life, and you have the opportunity to stand in your godship and your authority. You have the opportunity to command things into existence, to manifest whatever you desire, and to live according to, of course, the laws of sovereignty and the laws of your own government. And I yield to the chief.
I pretty much agree with what she said. The only thing I would add is it's basically you living your life one with nature, and nobody's supposed to interfere with that.
I see.
That I say.
I say getting back to our indigenous cultures. Also, goddess,
Yes.
because we could do this all day, but I'm gonna cut some of this off because I was gonna start asking you about secret societies and fraternities and sororities. I'm gonna say that for another time.
If you want to, I can go and do what I got to do. You can continue on with Dr. Pruitt if you want to. That's up to y'all, though.
That's up to goddess. It's Matriarch Monday. Is really your show. I'm just holding space.
Oh, you're so kind. I don't really have much to say about secret societies except
No,
for
no, no. I was saving that for another time. I want to keep it on indigenous currency. That's why I said I had a lot but I'm not gonna cram it all in. Before Rod goes, Rod, I gotta ask you. This is from general questions. This character that we have down, the Trump guy. Is this our last president?
Yeah, he's systematically shutting the corporation government down. We're gonna go to a whole nother system. We're going back to the matriarchy. By the time it comes time for him to leave office, we will be at the earliest stages of matriarchal restoration.
Okay. Real quick, what is the Chevron doctrine?
I heard Chief explain that beautifully. What I know about the Chevron doctrine is it gave the government unlimited powers to do whatever they want. And if anybody challenged them by going to court, then the courts would refer them right back to those government agencies and say that they had the authority as experts to determine whatever legality, statutes, codes, or policies they wanted. And if you didn't abide by them, they'd sic their policy enforcers or police officers on you. And I'll yield the floor to Chief to explain further.
So the Chevron doctrine was originally put in place so that the government can have specialized groups to settle issues like family court. Like when you go to family court, there's no judge there. There's a person called a referee, right? The referee, where does he get his power from? He's supposed to derive his power from the family court, right? But the problem with that is that the family court administrator is the one who assigns the referee, is not a judge, right? So the family court administrator, where do he get his power from? Well, he's supposed to be appointed by the chief judge of the circuit, right? But the problem with that is he not a judge. They call it administrative law judges. Okay, now the Chevron deference allowed for specialized groups to be advisors, but then they took on the enforcement roles and they used the police to enforce their rules, which is not law. So this is how they switched us from a lawful government to a code and regulation government. We're not under laws no more. We haven't operated under law since the 1800s, right? We've been under codes and statutes, which is administrative law. Administrative law judges was protected by the Chevron deference from any disputes of jurisdictional authority because they didn't have any. But under Chevron, because they were legal experts, they could pretend to be the real judge because nobody's disputing it. right? Which brings something else up called the Brunson case, right? And Brunson's brothers have several legal cases in the Supreme Court and district courts across the land. But one of the things they was complaining about was oaths of office. Most of these people that's professing to be our judiciary, our judges, do not have a valid oath of office to protect the Constitution. Instead, all they have is membership to an association called bar member or bar association. That means that they've been granted a title of nobility by the Crown of England, by the bar association, who was commissioned by the King of France. Let that sink in for you. So this is showing you that we was fighting against two different groups, and at least two. But they say it was 7 nations that invaded us, right? So when all of this comes full circle, the Chevron doctrine take away from the administrative application of codes and statutes. And this is why it took them so long to finally rule on it, because they didn't want to give up that power. They don't got no choice. They got to give it up because they never was supposed to be in the position to begin with. All these judges about to get arrested. Y'all just keep watching.
That's right.
The goddess just said it. She said it's funny how the government all of a sudden they want to have the illusion of they're the ones doing certain things. They're the ones saying certain things. Rod, that goes back to what you've saying for a long time. The government hasn't ran anything for a very long time. What we think is running things, AI's been running things for a minute. AI's been running things for a minute. Every president is just a face from that whole Biden, that whole Biden situation, and how many times they changed out Biden, or how many, neither here nor there. Dr. Pruitt, what are some good foreign currencies to invest in at this moment?
I would say look at the nations that have been sanctioned. Look at the nations that have been sanctioned, or look at the nations that have been at war, and also determine the resources that each nation would have to back those currencies. For example, I'll just give maybe 4 or 5. The Iraqi dinar, which know that Iraq has been at war, and we also know that President Trump said in a speech, on a Fox speech under his first administration, that he was going to make Iraq pay for all the work America did to protect them. And he said, we have billions of our Iraqi dinar in our accounts right now. So we know he's got a dinar. So Iraqi dinar, you want to look at Venezuelan bolivar because they have a lot of oil. Their currency has also been sanctioned, and they have suffered through hyperinflation. You want to look at Vietnam, because the Vietnamese dong, their currency was devalued through war, but now their country is open. So you got the dinar, the dinar, you had the Venezuela bolivar, you got the Vietnamese dong, and the Zimbabwean zim. That's a bond. And you know that Zimbabwe, their currency was under super hyperinflation, probably the second most highest inflation in history. So on their bond note, you want to get the 2008, 2009 AA or AB series. But at the top left-hand corner, it says, this is a promise to pay the bearer upon demand. Those are the 4 that most people know about and talk about. But I would say, and I don't say this openly to anybody, you have to join my private group to know like some of the others that I don't say out loud, because the private group is comprised of mostly indigenous people. So I don't say it, there are other currencies. You look at the country, see, have they been through sanctions? Have they been through war? Are they liberated now? Are they kicking out certain people? What kind of, do you want to look at the CIA fact book, or just do your own research to see what type of resources they have? And all countries around the world, their currencies are going to be revalued. But the ones with assets, those are the ones that you need to look at, because all the assets will back those currencies.
Look, I got this from Honduras, and I acquired a bunch of
That's a go back.
No, well, it's a go back on the other side, but this on this side is some kind of bill from Honduras, and I like it because it was indigenous, and they got the pyramid, but not the pyramid, but it's split. The pyramid is together. You can't really see it, but it's a pyramid inside the pyramid. Some mounds and stuff like this. But this is a couple old notes I got from a bid, because she was talking about investing in foreign currencies. So I have a bunch of foreign coins, ancient Nigerian coins, things of that nature. These are this is a gold note. But okay, before we go, if everybody said they love Rod Hayes so much, everybody said they love Goddess Kia so much, invest in one of these gold backs. They have a whole gold back collection of black women on these gold backs. It's one of the, I forget, it's number 10. It might be Oklahoma. Number 10 is a black woman from the Tuskegee. I might be saying that wrong. This is one of the black women. Florida has some amazing black girl collections, and it's always crazy that the black girls are the most expensive. But get it, why we think it's expensive now, the price of it of next tomorrow and 6 months from now and a year from now, it's going to be outrageous. So invest in something you don't mind looking at, and I do not mind looking at a bunch of indigenous women on these gold notes. If you love Rod the way you say you love Rod, invest in Rod a silver gorilla coin. I really got a goal, and I think I can manifest it. Everything don't need money. So if everybody buy him one silver gorilla coin, we might reach that goal. If you want to support my company, you can always look at my page. We sell all sorts of esoteric jewelry, which is made out of mostly copper and bronze. Copper is also going up in the market. Did you hear me? Copper is also going up in the market. So everything we make is already made out of earth metals, and everything that Bricks is talking about, we've been talking about for years. All those poor righteous teachers on the corners that have been selling you crystals and stones and copper and wide wrap copper have been telling you these things for years. And now, like we talking about silver being reevaluated, and silver represents the woman. We're reevaluating our women. We're reevaluating our culture, our systems, the way we look at the world, the way we look at our money, the way we look at ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So please invest now when it comes to that silver, most definitely silver and copper. If you have missed that gold train and getting back into the big mama banks, like this guy, to find you somebody in the community that is trustworthy, one of the elders, a guy that's like yourself that is financially literate, and they can break these things. I'm sorry.
Silver and copper was recently added to the United States critical minerals. Yes.
So somebody said, can you talk about family trust? This is something that this is a whole nother lecture within itself, so you can try to paraphrase on it, but this is something too that we need to talk more about. What is a family trust?
A trust is something that holds your assets. There was a saying that says, own nothing, control everything. You don't want to own anything. You want the trust to own your assets, and you control the trust. And I'll yield because, like you said, it's a part of estate planning. It'll take a while, but it cannot be contested. And you can contest it all day long, but whatever you say is going to happen with your assets. That's what's going to happen. It will not go through probate court like a will. Wills can be contested. They go through probate court. They're lengthy. Sometimes if somebody contests them, all that money and taxation comes out of the estate. But the trust is ironclad. Whatever you say goes about that trust. And again, you don't own the assets. Your trust does. Nobody can sue you because you don't own anything. Your trust does. And I yield.
I see. You want to touch on that, Rod, or she pretty much cleared it up?
Broke it down. Ain't nothing else to say.
and one thing about it, if you don't understand what we're talking about now, please go do the research. We're not asking y'all to believe in anything. The only reason I talk fast because I pay attention to the market every day, all day. I literally watch how the market changes and fluctuates every day, all day. And right now, we had an amazing run this last week where it went up, I think, $10 to $11, and then it just dropped. And right now, it dropped, I think, $8, but that was last time we started having this conversation. Every single time one of us buys an ounce of silver, we're messing up their system, their matrix. We talk about like OG. He's real in depth about Jekyll Island and their whole system. We have dismantled their system. As soon as we dismantled their system, the gold and silver has started to flow. So now that everything's being reevaluated, now it's the time to get on it, because tomorrow is not going to be nowhere close to what it is now. The same way we say, damn, I should invest in gold when gold was $100 an ounce. That's the mind frame we should have about silver and copper right now.
And they didn't want us to have this knowledge. We are so fortunate, and so we ought to be so grateful. I even had some issues with becoming an affiliate. I had to find people to become an affiliate with, because the way it used to work is they would just sell gold and silver to their rich friends.
Exactly. Yo, I used to go to this. That's why I don't believe in that affiliate thing, right? Because the people that have it are still not my allies. They're not my friends. They're not nobody that even looks like me whatsoever. I know their clan. I'm in the country. I know your clan origins. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not even here to do anything besides get this precious metal about you. You see what I'm saying? Now, because they're dumb when it comes to certain things, they don't care about stones. They don't know what a stone is. They don't listen. It might as well be whatever. So this is where I go for estate sales and things like that. They really don't like seeing me around, but their people are turning a blind eye to it too. When I said 85% of deaf people are deaf, dumb, and blind, that wasn't just talking about our people whatsoever. Ignorant isn't racist at all. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people that don't pay attention to this whatsoever. So right now, for us to even be on it, that's a beautiful thing, powerful thing. We have an opportunity. When we say correcting something, that means we have the opportunity to recorrect our sovereignty or Big Mama Banks or all sorts of things. I don't always have the right words for it, but I don't need no words. We talking about, look, you in the end or you ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's no archetype situation.
And we are changing the vibrations of the planet. The whole world is following us.
Yes, ma'am.
Only a few rich people were in this buying precious metals and getting into accumulating wealth. But once we started to speak, that's when people took note. We are the originals. We walk in our sovereignty and our godship, and everybody recognizes our authority and they jump on board. We are the blueprint. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, them people stopped selling silver jewelry just because I used to come and buy all the little silver change and stones. They stopped selling it just because I was buying it. Is my money not green enough? I'm buying it.
You gotta remember, the fiat dollar is rapidly losing value.
Yes. But they need it because they still got to pay their bills.
Listen,
they still got to pay their light bill.
That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
Okay, now eventually the dollar is going to have zero value. You're not going to be able to pay a bill with it. That means that the president will have to issue an executive order forcing the energy companies to leave everybody energy on because the bank's going to be gone. The banks are collapsing in real time. They got one of them, I think it was Wells Fargo, right? They just shut down like several hundred branches, right? Then you got Chase Manhattan, which is Chase Bank, right, owned by J.P. Morgan family. They are getting rid of banks, closing banks. So them the biggest bankers, some of the biggest bankers on the land. Then you got to also remember, we got gold all over the land. We ain't had no gold rush here for nothing. It's still here. It ain't gonna never stop being here.
I see.
As long as we walk in this earth, that gold ain't gonna never stop pouring out through the pores.
Yes.
So when we talk about it, we can go get our own gold if you really want to be truthful. We can go out down to the street or to any river in America and pan for gold. It's just that most of us don't know the process because they didn't want us having access to the wealth of the land. That's what they was trying to cut us off with. They wasn't trying to cut us off from different things. They wanted to cut us off from the wealth of the land so they can take it. Mm-hmm. Remember, they got 72 secret treaties that we don't know what they say.
We don't know what they talking about. Man, I appreciate y'all so much. Again, I say there were so many good comments and amazing people that came tonight. I hope we can do this again because it's so much that we couldn't touch on because there was so much that you did. Thank you again for gracing us with this Matriarch Monday. Thank you, Rob, man, for everything you do. Like I said, man, we talk minerals. Stop talk about what we like that material, that illusion. This is shedding the illusions. Send some metals. Like get you a silver gorilla. Like, how can we get in contact with you if we want to send you a silver gorilla right now?
I don't have no PO box, so I can't really.
Just hit his inbox him on Instagram and go from there. Or
if they want to send silver, they have to get it directly in contact with me. Instagram and Facebook messages.
This has been an amazing year, man. If you want to send Sister Myra Moss, big shout out to Sister Myra Moss. She would like silver too. If you would like to donate to us, Doctor, and like I said, y'all can send the cash app, and tell them, man, this is for a coin. You know what I'm saying? This is for a go back. This is for something. You know what I'm saying? Because now, then turn around and buy yourself one, buy your baby one, buy your wife one. You know what I'm saying? Start stacking your family trust, and don't talk about you have a family trust. Nothing in the safe, nothing in the box. Like stop buying shoes and start buying gold back. Stop buying all this dumb stuff. We say cheap.
I said, "Oh, you about to start something?"
They were just like me. They better take stuff back.
Hey, look, you just cussed out the whole hood when you said stop wearing shoes.
They about to take their legs back. But man, I appreciate y'all so much. This was amazing. Thank you. This has been amazing, y'all. I'm glad that I'm finishing up the so-called their so-called New Year right and talking about wealth and talk about wealth
Yes.
of health, and talk about wealth of our family dynamic, and talk about wealth of real wealth. Like, I'm tired of this woke and broke thing, and people have been talking forever and don't have nothing to show for it.
And remember,
So
the Pope, who is the head of the United States Incorporated, opened what he called Jubilee portals as of December the 24th, 2024. He opened up about 5 of them, and he said he was inaugurating 2025 Jubilee year. That's what we're living in that right now, and the Gregorian year doesn't even end yet. So the last portal is that he would, I don't know if he's going to close, or I think he's going to close this portal, is January the 6th, 2026. So I will look for something to happen between now and January 6th, 2026, because those are all rituals.
man, appreciate that green. They gave us the spot value of silver right now is at 73. That means it went up like $1 since last time I checked. So
Okay.
that's dope. It went up 73.12. Okay. Silver Surfer. Most definitely Silver Surfer stage right now. We're gonna get these last, try to get some of these last.
Okay.
If anybody wants to get any kind of silver from us or anything like that, we will just put a comment down. We'll give you our email, hit our email up, and we'll go from there. We'll figure out exactly what you want in your trust. What do you want? Like, what do you want? Like this guy that says she wants falcons, then we're gonna give her falcons. One guy that she wants the goddess today asked me she wants goats. Another guy that she's invested in a lot of elephants, silver elephants, and I think that's amazing. A lot of people, anything, man. I think we need to really just double down, lock in. There's no excuses. There's no more. There's no room for excuses. We know the truth now. We know who we are now. We got to act in it. You know what I'm saying? I might not be saying the word right, but I know how to walk it. You know what I'm saying? We got to walk in our sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to your comments. There were so many good ones. I'm trying to see.
You ain't gonna never get to everybody because somebody gonna be still putting in there when we leave.
Yeah, man. That's why I said, now if y'all hitting her cash app up out there, as long as y'all hitting her cash app, look, Sister Maya, I'm sorry, Dr. Kia or Rod, you ain't gotta say nothing. Just look at your phone and look up and smile. If you smile, I stay 5 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? Every time you smile, I stay 5 more minutes. don't have them staying if y'all not supporting them, man, because they be putting a lot of information out. Oh, she's smiling? Okay, we might stay another minute. I'll try to get.
Oh yeah, so it is.
I can't see, man.
Pope Francis did say he's going to close the door January 6, 2026, the Jubilee door. So that means that's the end of something and the beginning of something else. So the Jubilee doors, the portals, are supposed to help set the captives free. When he opened the first portal December the 24th, 2024, he said this is the Jubilee portal. He opened it from a basilica, which was a prison, and it was symbolic of letting slaves go free and getting rid of the debt. The same date, December 24, 2024, when he opened up that first portal, he opened up 5. Zero Heads came out with an article that says, we're about to experience a debt jubilee in biblical proportions. Are you ready? And what they were referring to is in biblical times, and that really came from ancient American times, ancient Egyptian times. Egypt is here. That came from us. So we're, they say we're the original Hebrews, we're the original people. But in ancient times, we had a system where if anybody was enslaved after a certain period, we let them go enslaved, or they have to pay off a debt. So in biblical times, you had to count 7 years, and every 7 years you had to forgive the debts, completely wipe away people's debts, and give the land a rest every 7 years. And then you do a count a cycle of 7 years, 7 cycles of 7 years, and you come up on the 49th year. You also, at that time, cancel all the debt, let the indentured servants go free, give the land a rest, but you prepare for the 50th Jubilee year celebration. We're living in the 50th year Jubilee celebration. This has happened for ancient dynasties, ancient times, biblical times, and Zero Heads mentioned that in December 24, 2024, the same day that the Pope opened the first door. So this debt jubilee is going to happen, but a lot of dynasties or a lot of empires stopped doing that. The United States Incorporated hasn't done it in a long time, but it's a part of everybody, most indigenous cultures, their way of life. So when Pope Francis opened up that door, he was letting everybody know this is Jubilee season. all the debts have to be done away with. And that aligns with Nasar and Jasar law. January 6, 2026 is supposed to be the last day. He's going to actually close that door that he called a portal.
And that means everything that you hold right now, everything that you hold in your personal trust right now, magnifies by whatever. The same way we seen this price fluctuate with silver, and the same way we saw gold. Like, we're old enough to remember when gold was $100 an ounce. We remember when silver was $10 an ounce. Don't let it fly by, because this is we everybody want to be gods right now. Everybody say we gods and goddesses. Everybody say we kings and queens. And I've never seen so many kings and queens without gold before in my life. I've never seen so many kings and queens with fake jewelry on before in my life. You see what I'm saying? I've never seen so many gods that don't have God. We have to get back into our own indigenous culture and paying attention to this on a whole nother level. And I've heard you talk about it all the time about not only is this financially taking care of us in different ways, it's also healing us. Like Rod says, this is crystallized light. You see what I'm saying? Silver represents the woman. What are they really saying? Why is all the new all the new money right now is only matriarch? All the new money. When I was showing those pap bars, that's a goddess. This is a goddess.
Silver is going to outperform gold, and that has to happen. The woman has to kind of come. Chief Hayes had helped me with this one, because I was like, you don't want to leave power to these women, but silver is outperforming gold. And the reason why they're raising the matriarch is actually to restore balance.
And just the fact that this goddess right here, she said, there's so much ignorance and greed right now, and this me mentality, prepping people for proper education on how we approach nature will be required. And that goes back to what you were saying. Just when we talk about matriarch, the reason we push for the matriarch is because when it comes to gold, no man is not going to be able to run over, like they be able to run the gold and silver and everything up without being greedy and stealing and doing all this, or somebody killing them. And that's something that we've done thousands and thousands of years. When we get back into the matriarch and she's pushing out the right way, what are we killing for? What are we worried about when, what you just say earlier, the Kasar, your health care is free. Your education is free. The land is free. Energy Homes is right here at our fingertips. Free Energy Homes is right here at our fingertips. I'm not talking about somebody tricking you off somewhere. I'm talking about free energy homes in land. Fruits and vegetables are going to, the only reason we don't have fruits and vegetables growing on trees all throughout Florida now is because they cut them down. Like they said, they taught us to disrespect they cut them down and said we can't have these trees because they bring a certain kind of flies. When the trees start growing back, we're gonna have a free food. Oh, you might not. I'm not saying you're not going back to the caveman days. Okay, technology is going to be technology, but it's just indigenous futurism. So
one thing everybody who keep hearing that word free, ain't nothing free. People say, why do I gotta pay to live on the planet I was born on? Because you want other people to do shit for you.
Facts.
If you don't want to pay nothing, you gotta do everything yourself. Everything. If you don't want to pay for nothing. And then if you want to know how to do everything you want to do, you have to pay attention in order to learn how to do what you want to do. Ain't nothing free. We got to stop pushing that narrative. We didn't pay for this with blood, sweat, and tears over war and years.
Even
ain't nothing free.
I see.
Right? We got our birthright. We born owed what we was owed from our ancestors that's been in the trust the whole time. They just took us off the trust because they wanted us to think we was like everybody else. We not all the same.
Ooh.
We not all the same. People want to be like, oh, let's get along. We not all the same. It's some people that look like us that don't mean people that look like us no earthly good. And there's some people that don't look like us that will break their back to make sure that you have the least amount of help. Get that out your head. All of those hate doctrines, all that free shit is a side effect of fast food culture. We never wanted nothing for free. But if it's man, I want it because it's man. That ain't free shit.
I see.
That's your shit already. Right? Just because we not paying a light bill, don't believe that we didn't contribute to the production of that electricity. Whether we didn't directly do it, but our ancestors did. They either built the factories or gave them the science. So no matter how you look at it, it's still ours and ain't free. It's paid for. It's paid for with effort. It's paid for with blood. We didn't bled more than anybody else. And if anybody want to dispute it, show me who bled more.
I see.
Right? We didn't been lied to more than anybody else. They want us to think that we from everywhere else but from here. Nope, we've been here the whole time, ain't never left. Do you come in and want me to convince me that I'm from somewhere else and I got 47 past life memories? I remember being here 47 consecutive times, and about 38 of them is before 1492. So how do you get to the point where this is free? We played for it in blood. We was at war.
I see.
Right? Ain't nobody better than nobody, but anybody can do better than somebody else with effort. Right? Only thing gonna make you better than somebody is if you do better than they do. And I don't mean doing stuff as in earning money. I'm talking about from the heart. What is you doing from the heart? What is you doing to uplift the people that come in contact with you, that come around you? Everybody want to come in, they want to tear people down and then tell them they don't know what they talking about, and then coming to find out they ain't even got a picture on their social media because they hide.
Yeah.
So we got to get out of that. Ain't nothing free. We already paid for it.
Yo, Chief.
Reparations, they can't give us reparations. They cannot repair the damage that's been done. But if they gave us our birthright, we wouldn't need no reparations.
I see.
But if you want reparations, they're going to reach in your birthright and grab you a couple trinkets up out of there. You do the math.
I see.
But ain't nothing free.
Man, my apologies. You know what, Chief? You told me a couple years ago, so I changed my approach on how I speak, right? Because you know what I'm saying? We speak life, right? So when I speak, you told me a couple years ago, you said, man, the reason it was hard at that point in time, you said it's hard because you can't make money during the war, right?
You're in the war lot.
After everything was done, it was like, okay, see, I think we could chill now. So now I speak on it. I speak on it from a peaceful perspective, and I try to use words that don't run people away and everything else, because we already know what they always say in the branch. They were like, a freedom ain't free and everything else. So it's like I just speak from a language where I don't be trying to get caught up in words and everything else, but you're absolutely right with everything you said. Somebody's asked while we on it, someone said, what was the military confrontation between the U.S. and Nigeria?
It was a cover story.
Yeah, they got some oil, so they need some freedom.
It was a cover story. Look, they got these billionaires was getting from not only Nigeria, you got to look at Venezuela too. They was flying pallets of money out of Venezuela and Nigeria. If you want to get them to cancel their military contracts with these private militaries, you got to cut off their money supply. Right? They was getting drug money out of Venezuela. They was getting oil money and hustle money out of Nigeria. Nigeria is like the 5th largest oil producer on the planet. They can't keep a stable government because all of these superpowers keep interfering in their business, so they can't never get Ibrahim Traore over there in Nigeria, because every time one of them rise up, they cut him down. Right? So they got billionaires who was flying tons of gold and oil and stuff out of Nigeria. They can't access it now. They can't pay their private militaries. Everything ain't got to be about somebody's skin color. Sometimes it's about trapping a person's finances. Sometimes it's about military strategy. Now, I know most of us don't know about military strategy. We don't know about cutting off the resource lines. We don't know none of that stuff, so it look crazy to us. And then you got these people that think they know something, come on here and push these inflammatory rhetoric, jargon across social media, and they sound like they know what they're talking about, but they don't got a fucking clue. Right? They gotta trap these people. You can't trap them and you keep letting them hold on to tons of money. You cut off their money supply, they're gonna panic. When they panic, they're gonna eventually have to, because the U.S. military, all of the ones in the United States, is over like 400 or 500 private militaries operating on domestic land right now. With that former military got out the military, built a militia, and registered with the government to be a private military contractor that will blow your ass up and walk away like they don't have no legal ramifications. They got the same right to crush you as a what they call them people, bounty hunter. And these people was hired by billionaires, damn near trillionaires. So first they strangling them out through the banks. So now they're using what's called black ops funding. They use foreign places. They go over there, get a whole pallet of U.S. currency and drop it in front of these people that's running these private militaries. But it's only one thing they didn't take into account: the military oath to protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yes, sir.
When they lead a military, that is so ingrained in them. Most of them can't get that oath up because they know that's why they're there. So when they come home and they see people that's doing stuff belligerent to the Constitution, of course, they're going to take sides with the government. But in the meantime, till the government tell them it's time to move, they can't do nothing. Because they didn't already, when they contracted as a private military contractor, they also signed a contract with the military, the United States military, that they can be called in to do military enforcement operations as civilian contractors. We don't know nothing about this stuff because we don't know nothing about the military. Only the people with military families even know what I'm talking about right now, because right now I sound like a babbling idiot to somebody with no military understanding whatsoever. So the strategy is simple. Look at everywhere they going. Everywhere they going got something to do with cutting off money to billionaires. They go talking about, right. Okay, so Iran, Ayatollah Rock and Roller talking about he want to go to war. He don't want to go to war. He just talking. He just saying that because he over there trying to do the same thing we trying to do. Cut off the people with the money. Right? So what do? He round them into place, antagonize a foreigner to drop a bomb on their ass. And he's Bismillah, but it wasn't me. It was the West. It was the West. But he know what he doing. The same way that all of the other ones part of what they call the Arab League. They all know. They all part of it. They all in on it. Don't none of them want to be left behind in the aftermath, and they saving Israel ass for last. Don't think they got away. Don't just because you see Yahoo over here butt kissing Trump. Remember, the ass kiss is the prelude to the traitor. He already noticed before he took office. The military told him, beware the ass kisser, because that's the one you're gonna have to take out at the end.
That's the Judas.
The government, look, the whole I forget the names now. What? Oh man, I can't be having brain fart. What's the name of that little group they got that goes to schools harassing kids? Charlie Kirk was part of it.
Oh, you talking about Turning Point? Turning
Point. They're turning on their coons. All that cooning and the things that people thought they were going to use that to get up on the little social ladder or whatever, they're turning on their own coons. So it's like everything is falling apart. All the illusions are falling apart. Now, what I say is no tasty backsies. Once somebody exposes who they really are and what side they'll flip to for $1 or anything like that, let them stay where they're at. They don't come back to the tribe. Really, like when you were saying everything, we're tribal. We're only talking to the tribe. The only people that's here are the people that need to be here. You know what I'm saying? You can be anywhere in the world you want to be, you know what I'm saying, before it manifests anything you want. You don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. So that's what, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not really focused on a lot of that stuff. They say we need to do a part 2 to this. How you feel about that, Dr. Kidd? We're going to do a part 2?
Absolutely, as long as the chief is here with me.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I'm going to show up and you show up.
Yes,
man,
sir.
I appreciate both of y'all, man. You legendary chief. And you got to like move strategic. Even if you never been to the military, if you study Shango's a strategic energy. When you study Ogun, you're studying a strategic energy. And tonight is Monday, which is study Alegba or Ashu, which is a very strategic energy. I'm about to.
I have military books. I read the 48 Laws of Power. All the military books that teaches us that we're under military operation. I was drawn to them. And my brother was in the military. My uncles were in the military. So I have a lot of respect for the military. I
say. Yeah, my mom, she was an HM2. And my father was in the military too. Wow. A CB. So I appreciate y'all. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Thank you for everybody that donated tonight to Dr. Pruitt and Rod Hayes, Chief Rod Hayes. Thank y'all for everybody in the comments that connected with other people in the comments that want to do business with each other and everything else. This is how we build each other up and make networks and create. Big shout out to Chief Blackrock and Sister Myra Moss and the elders of the night. And if I'm forgetting anybody, please don't knock me down, because we've had an amazing year. We've had an amazing run. Big shout out to the Shea Network, and everybody, man, everybody that's supported. Big shout out to all my investors. Yes. You know what I'm saying? We talk about a lot of different things, but we got to give a big shout out to the investors, the people that believe in us. Everybody talks about how our people don't support. That's a lie. The Black community, the indigenous community most definitely support. Maybe the Black community don't, but the indigenous community most definitely supports. So, and I'm grateful.
I'm grateful for being here. I'm grateful that Chief reached out to me. I'm grateful for you, Brother Orisha, for having me. I was so thrilled and honored. I told everybody on my channel, you guys have to come over there. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be a part of your tribe and to just be here to speak to all the people here. Thank you all for joining us as well. And I also want to say, I want to thank my Precious Metals affiliate. He gave me an opportunity when other people didn't. You know, he gave me an opportunity to, even though he didn't know who I was, didn't know nothing about me. I just had a few people on my channel at the time, but I told him, I said, I'm going to make your name a household name. And within the first 2 years, by the people that were working, we made his company $4 million. And I'm like, within the first year, 3 million. So, but you know, the affiliates get, you know, like maybe 1%. That's just the way the business goes, and sometimes less than that. But still, he believed in me. And now is the time for us to have our own gold companies, us to be the wholesaler, us to own the mines and do the mining rights and all that, because all these other people that came on our land were able to do that. They were given loans. They'll say I started with nothing. That's not the truth. They were given loans. They were given the opportunity. They were given the land to mine. That, you know, and like I say, I'm not hating or not. I am upset. Let me not even say that. I can't speak badly on them, because they availed themselves of the opportunity. Now we must avail ourselves of opportunities. So we need to stop saying things, you know, it's all about race, you know, Trump hates people, or we don't have opportunities, and opportunity zones are only for white people, and gold and silver. We have to start asking ourselves, how can I, and command things to be. And I'll yield the floor. I'll stop with that. But I thank those people who gave me the opportunity to extend the silver and gold opportunity to our soul family.
Hey, I appreciate somebody in the comments, because it's not like I'm not trying to get to all these. Y'all all got amazing questions and everything else, but that's why I had the goddess come on, because everything we're saying, when she says it, when Rod Hayes says something, or when this goddess says something, they're saying it for you to run back and go research it.
Yes.
Jump down that rabbit hole. When she said Gasar, you said this years ago, and I've been paying attention to it ever since. When Rod said, ain't nobody gonna give you anything, even though people were like, oh yeah, they're gonna give us this wealth, they're gonna give us this money, and that's why I said, yeah, I don't believe that, but because gold is already rare, silver is already rare. So get it for yourself now and prepare, you know what I'm saying, proper preparation prevents poor performance, and prepare yourself for wealth. But at the same time, like take it serious too. Like we have to put in the work too. Somebody just said, like, we can't break down everything, and we might miss up some things. I don't want to over talk, and it's so much to talk about. So please, like they said, just do the research. When Rod says something about the doctrine of discovery, for that word to be out there, for him to explain, just to say the doctrine of discovery, set you up for success, to go ahead and put on YouTube, what is the doctrine of discovery? Better yet, go holler at your best friend AI, ancestral intelligence. What is the doctrine of discovery? He gave you the game when he said the word. When we said, when the goddess, you just said it, you just said it your last live. Please, y'all, check out all Dr. Pruitt's lives. Check out the one she just did right before she came on, and the one she did last night, and everything else. Like, please support this goddess, because she putting out the truth. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to church no more, but this is the vibe that I want if we were going to church. Somebody to get up there and tell us the truth. Because why is the church still not wealthy? Why is it? Why is no? You got all these rappers and musicians and all these people going broke. How did you have all this money and you didn't invest in gold and rare earth minerals?
You about to make me pull out my soapbox, brother.
Come
My
on.
bad. See, I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna shut it down. Man, I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate
Them
everybody's
churches
comments,
got
man.
plenty money. If you can build a house of worship that's a big cathedral with inlaid gold ceilings and stained glass, you got money.
What I mean is, when you are part of that church, it's
Yeah,
not enough for me to have it. When you're an affiliate, when you're a Temukawa, right? All of
exactly.
us have gemstones. All of us, to say that you're part of our tribe, all of us have
Okay,
gemstones.
church not tried. Remember that. Church not tried. The church is to enrich the priesthood, the fake priesthood at that. The pedophile cross-dressing priesthood is the ones that's why they always trying to stick a dress on somebody. Talking about a choir. Put them, come get fitted for your choir robe. I don't want to cross-dress this week. No, I'm not doing it. So
Chief, I have worked in leadership in churches. Those pastors have money, they have retirement accounts, they have land, but they'll sell poverty and Jesus to the people, and they'll have them singing silver and gold, silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus than
ain't no
silver.
way.
Oh, and it sounds so pretty, but they have the money. I have worked in churches and had to literally beg the pastors. And I have one pastor that allowed me to do that, to teach the people about wealth, to teach the people how to get out of debt, to teach the people about land. But it was a little difficult. And then it became a power struggle between the pastor and Dr. Kia Pruitt, because I'm teaching them about wealth and how to think for themselves and to stand in their godship, and that the scripture says ye are gods. And if you're God, you're supposed to have wealth. And if you're supposed to be saving the people, you are the savior for whom you've been looking. You're supposed to be out here having wealth for yourself, your family, your posterity, and helping the community. Yes, sir.
you know, that's one of the things about the church that a lot of people don't know. The church took the place of an actual tribal function. And the tribal function of a tribal priest was they was just governing over the stockpile of stuff he had to get back to the congregation. Not these preachers. If you go to telling them about giving back to the congregation, they're gonna look at you sideways. They all talk bad about Reverend Ike, and the whole Christian world rose up against him, and he was the only one telling you the truth at the time. That sank in. He was the only one of them mainstream preachers that was telling you the truth about wealth and money and about manifesting your own reality by changing the way you think. The rest of them was talking about, oh, you got to believe in the Lord. Come on down to the church. Look, I'm not belligerent to people seeking spirituality. I'm belligerent to people that's kind artists masquerading as liberators, and all the time they oppressors. That's where my problem lies. These people that's running around now talking about the money being more important than God, let them take their money and I'm going to take my God, and we're going to see who come out at the end. Checkmate, mofo.
I say, and the same preachers talking about the singing, you have God more than money and gold, have the gold on. But your people, your congregation don't.
They
How
ain't
we
just got
have
the
worship
gold
if we
on. They
don't all have the
driving
same
around in
thing?
Rolls Royces with gold grills. Nigga, they got gold on the ceiling of some of these churches.
Yeah.
Telling the people they don't need no gold.
And then you pay all your tithes to them, and you don't get any benefit. I mean, they'll preach the word to you, but if you need some money, you might be able to take out a loan after you've paid all the tithes, the anniversary fees, the offerings, the love gifts, all your offerings, all the services. They'll collect your money, and they act like pimps. Like when they see that money drying up, they'll start literally going off of you from the pulpit. They might as well say, B, where's my money? You better have my money come next weekend, because that's the way they talk to you. You're going to hell if you don't give me my money. And like I said, I've learned a lot being in leadership. Their kids go to private schools, their wives have all the jewelries, the finest shop places, while the congregation is in poverty, given all the money that they have because the Lord commands that they give it to them. Who's the Lord?
But why the Lord don't let their children bump straight? All of the preacher kids turn out to be the worst pariahs of society. That's your karma.
Karma fool.
That's your karma. You standing up here sending everybody, condemning everybody to hell. Well, the government gonna condemn your child to their system too. They use you to condemn everybody to hell, then they're gonna get hell to your child.
Man, I appreciate y'all so much, man. But yeah, going back to what you said, all illusions are being destroyed, from the church to the entertainment, rising of the matriarch. Everybody in the comments is saying how beautiful you are, or Dr. Pruitt. Is that Tanzanite or Sapphire? What you got? Is that Tanzanite or Sapphire you got on?
Lapel, what do they call it? Lazuli?
Lapis Lazuli?
Lapis Lazuli.
She came royalty tonight. So yeah, me myself personally, when I donate to you, I would we can contact each other later on.
Okay.
I like gifts. My love language is gifts. You see what I'm saying?
I would be honored.
Yes, ma'am. But yes, I'm honored.
One more thing before we cut out, I got to make sure that the Hebrews, the Jews, the Muslims don't feel left out when I say fuck your religion. I want to make sure that they all get, because I don't want nobody to think that I'm playing favoritism. One rotten SOB is above another rotten SOB. They all rotten. They can take all of their stuff. That's why a lot of our Islamic leaders don't even teach that BS, because they know it's some garbage. And they know they can't teach that shit to our people the way that they teach it in the Middle East, because they're going to cause an insurrection in the church or the mosque. And that Hebrew shit, that's just some backstory patched together stuff to make the other two more cohesive.
Church should be teach you trust.
So I'm an equal opportunity religious basher. I don't care which religion you come from. I'm a sacred cow tipper. I will tip your sacred cow and blow that sucker up while you're laying on his side. So,
man,
keep exploiting these people, and I'm gonna keep on putting you on blast. Leave them alone. I'll leave you alone.
And they know the stuff they're teaching is a lie. They know it.
They know it. That's the thing. That's the secret. Y'all held it over in your people face. The people that you say you loved. That's just like the police. The police the child that grew up to become the police officer and help police your neighborhood, and you stand there and help the white man kick your brother in the face and stomp your brother out and break his neck, and you stand there and watch. You know what I'm saying? You remember Tales from the Hood?
Because they're all a part of the secret society.
Yeah, exactly. That goes back to that. We can have a whole nother conversation. But I'm not gonna do you like that. You've been going all day. You've been going hard. Like when I saw you, you've been going so amazing. Again, I say you thank you, because sometimes you be touching me. Like you were going in one time. I was like, damn, sometimes when you sleep and the TV just runs.
Yes, sir.
It'll come on. So you'll come on. I thought I woke up out my sleep thinking my mama was talking to me. So I was like, yeah, gotta get it. There's no excuses anymore now. We gotta get into it. When we're talking about foreign currencies, go get you some African gold. Stop going through the middleman. Let's go get us some African gold. We got people on ground right now in South Africa.
Where do we get
Noah's Ark? I'm sorry.
We contact you for the African gold?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: the best way we would do that, I would give you the contact of the people down there in South Africa, so y'all, because it's different than just buying fractional pieces. They'll give me fractional pieces, but these people have minds and stuff of that nature. So this is why I'm dealing with them. Big shout out to the Khoisan clan. Big shout out to Water Falcon. Also in the comments we have I am Seg 13. When we're talking about trust, you can hit her up too. Please put your information in the comments, because she's amazing at helping people with trust. If anybody else is like, please network. Our whole point of this network, this channel, it's to network and uplift each other. A lot of people just want to get their pockets fat and everything else. I want to see all of us dripped out with sapphires, gold, silver, and everything else. It ain't no fun if my friend, you know what I'm saying, my tribe can't have none. So, God, man, real appreciate you, Rod. Everybody right now, if I was putting all the comments in here, they laughing because Rod tore it up to my fuck everybody religion. Fuck your Jesus, Buddha, and SpongeBob. Let me see. Everybody talk about Rod going in. Like I said, I'm sorry. So many people in the comments. All y'all were amazing tonight.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna go ahead and get us out of here because they're not gonna stop. Rod said that they are not gonna stop. Hold on one second. My phone is acting up. Give me 1 second, y'all. I don't know why my phone is freezing right now. That's not what's going on right now. Ready? Wow.
You know, somebody made a comment. I was just reading the comments too. And it's one of the things that's dear to my heart. You'll take your babies out of these people hell training schools. They got some more sleeper cells coming in the next wave because the last wave they still wasn't listening. Maybe the next wave y'all start listening and take y'all babies out of these people's clutch, right? They all in there together. They got sleeper cells at all of the schools. They told us with the back to school commercial that it was going to be excessive drama at the school. So y'all can keep watching. Don't believe me. Just keep watching. You'll see it.
I say.
Chief, what do we do if we tell our family members to take the kids out of schools and they just won't? What are we to do?
Okay. Well, the only thing I would do is say when the next school event is at your child's school, don't come tell me I should have listened to you. You can't make them do it. All you can do is inform them. But then you always ask that question. If your school is the next one on the list, we don't know what order they in, what school they picking next. They all sleeper cells. I mean, they don't even know they finna do it until they get activated. Right? So you asking the people that you telling, okay, well, what if your school is the next one? Because I don't want you to come back saying I should have listened to you. I want you to tell me now, if your child's school is the next school that one of these events going to happen at, okay, what then? What you going to do?
They're preparing, Chief, because now they're not even allowing parents to come into the schools. You can't come in and do volunteer work. You're not allowed to come in to go to the child's classroom. You have to show your ID at the door, and then they stop you at the door. So we know something is up. They know, too, that something is about to happen. This is new. This is new, at least here in the state of Florida, where they're making it. And you should show your ID, but they won't even let you go to your child's classroom, to the lunchroom, to sit with them, to volunteer in the school. That makes me very uncomfortable.
Well, you got to remember, 99% of schools events have been a student at the school, not the parent.
Right.
And the easiest way to make sure that none of the parents run in during the active situation is to have them already conditioned to stay outside the building. Because if it happened at the school with one of mine, I'm running up in there.
That's right.
And they already know, so they know it's a whole lot of people that feel like I feel. But the thing is I personally do not want mine there.
That's the thing. Everybody's pretty conscious right now. We got to get back to homeschooling.
My family don't want mine there, but then they say, well, are you going to teach them? And I'm like, I've done that before. I've taken them out and taught them, and then you put them back in, you know. So Mama Kia is not going to do everything for you. You should just heed to the voice.
And that's another problem our people got. They want everybody else to do their part of the work.
Absolutely.
Well, I give them some incentive.
They can come do my part of the work for a couple of weeks. Let's see how long they last. Yeah, they think that I'm just on social media talking. I get all this sensory overload shit from people that I can't even see telling me shit. You know, that's traumatic in and of itself.
I see.
Like, who is this talking to me? Where you at? I can't see you. I'm standing here. You just can't see me. That's traumatic. The average person gonna have a full-fledged nervous breakdown. The only reason they pick me because I don't have a nervous breakdown when they come. I ask them what the hell they want.
We hear them, we see them.
That's yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother animal. I ain't even talk about the visuals now.
Yeah. No, man, most definitely, man. Appreciate, like, they don't really realize the amount of energy y'all putting out good like quality information and not just saying crazy stuff. A lot of people just be saying crazy stuff. Y'all put out good information. My apologies because something was messing up on my phone where I couldn't do my credit out. So we might just have to just end it whenever y'all ready. But it's just all of a sudden my phone is glitching, and I'm not even surprised. But like I said, big shout out to everybody. If I didn't give you a shout out, man, we're doing a lot of work this year. Big shout out to Young Elder. And everybody we've been doing work this year that's putting out the truth and putting out quality information every day, because we're not easily entertained anymore. We need things to feed our brains and feed our souls and feed our minds and hearts and everything. So again, Rod just said it. Y'all don't understand how much work he puts in just talking every day and trying to answer questions, the same as you guys. But also going back to what you were saying about the school thing, we got to, everybody want to be indigenous until it's time to do indigenous things. We need to take our kids out of school. We can eliminate a lot of our own problems if we do what we're supposed to do. Take your kids out of school systems, start connecting with these doulas, start connecting with the midwives, start connecting with the school. Now, the incentive for everybody that needs incentive, I stay in Florida. So one thing about it down here, homeschooling, I think Trump passed some kind of we got to pay attention to these different things in law. Trump passed something where they give you a couple thousand, like I think up to $10,000-$15,000.
That's not new. That's not new. When you take your child out of school, public school, and you enroll them in private school, they still enroll, but you in charge of their curriculum, right? They supposed to reimburse you what your taxpayers' dollar would pay for your child's education. A lot of people don't know that, but it's in most of the states is part of their legal framework for education. But you can also, you got places that pay you to homeschool, like Hooked on Phonics and other programs. They pay people to use their program to homeschool.
Big shout out to the Phoenix Circle, Phoenix Rising. Big shout out to Rob All Trades. Again, like I said, I'm having a little technical difficulty. Are y'all ready to get out of here? Because I can't run my credit right now. I'm not sure what's going on my phone. I'm gonna have to figure that out later. But this was amazing. I'm not upset about anything. Tonight was an amazing night. And thank y'all for everything again. Like I say, for people that say I speak fast, I got to get a lot. We got to, put so much together in a small amount of time with great people. So that's why I'm speaking fast, because I'm excited and everything else, and we got to get straight to the point. We got to get past the time of just talking about it anyway. We need to go ahead and get it, because like I said, yesterday's price isn't today's price. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys again. Thank you. I hope that we have everything in this life and the next that we strive for. We ain't got to wait until everywhere else to get the roads of gold. We can do it right here on this planet right now, Yellow Brick Road. I say. So
I look forward to us too, as leaders and chiefs, getting together and doing whatever we need to do to make sure that our people are living in prosperity.
I say. Again, I appreciate everybody that was commenting. I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody's comments, but we are very much appreciated. If you put in the comment afterwards, if y'all want to still communicate, put in the comments after we load it so we can still see your comments, and maybe we can answer some of your questions there. Outside of that, OG Rod, you have anything else before we get out here, Chief?
No.
Man, I appreciate y'all again. Rod is love. Goddess, we appreciate you so much. Like it was such an honor to be with you. Your royal essence, your lapis lazuli, your purple, your crown chakra energy. Like I said, we know the ones who know, we know exactly who you are. We know exactly who you are, Chief. And like, please keep pushing us to start our own home banks and everything else, so we can keep on complaining about what this person did to us or that person did to us, or we can take control and sovereignty and take control of our lives and what we do in our destiny, and do it right here, right now, starting with these precious metals. So again, thank you, guys, and God, and peace to the guys, and with that, peace.
Peace. Thank you, family. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Brother Orisha.
You're welcome, Dr. Kia.